A woman named Gail Savage is going viral right now for her experience with her landlord. When she informed him that she would have to wait for her stimulus check in order to be able to pay her April rent, he responded by asking her to spend the night. What is gravy, y'all? Welcome back to InformOverload. We tell you about what's trending on the internet. I'm Charlotte Del Rey. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you're the first to know what's trending, and follow us on social media if you don't already, because we got news updates coming at our butts, and we post them online on Instagram and YouTube, and just follow it, okay? Gail Savage is a single mother, and her 2-year-old son is called Salem. Like many others, she lost her job when the lockdown started. Gail is a bartender at a cocktail bar in Indianapolis, and she would also work as a burlesque performer. Both of these jobs are jobs that rely on bars and venues. In case you haven't noticed right now, bars and restaurants and venues are not open right now. When she lost her job, she told her landlord that she would have to wait until her federal stimulus check arrived so that she could pay her April rent. At which point he took it upon himself to ask her to spend the night with him. Here is the text exchange. So, you gonna stay all night? What do you mean? I don't know if you meant to send that to me. I did. I don't understand what you mean. Stay where? Stay with me tonight. Get a shot of that. I don't think I understand what you're asking. What do you mean? You don't want to. I understand. I don't understand. Are you asking me in a sexual way? He responded, yes. Please note that Gail asked her landlord to clarify 3 times. There was plenty of time for him to say, oh, sorry, that message was not for you, but I will get to that later in the video. If this is true, then that is honestly shocking to me. I'm totally baffled that this landlord thought he could get away with this. It would be one thing if he had a thing for Gail and he asked her on a date or something, but he fully asked her for sexual favors while she was in a vulnerable position. I thought we left this kind of shit in 2016 with Harvey Weinstein. The worst thing about everybody losing their jobs, well, other than people losing their jobs, is that we are headed toward a housing crisis, which also means more vulnerable people to prey on. Gail told BuzzFeed, "The second I figured out it was happening, it was the craziest thing. I put Salem in his car seat and walked out the door. I was like, I don't know where I'm going, but I can't stay. I was scared." Although this all sounds like a fake scenario you would only find on an adult website, landlords harassing tenants for favors is actually not that uncommon. It usually happens to women in vulnerable, low-income communities. People most likely to be targeted by landlords are women, women of color, and trans women. The thing is, after 33 million people filed for unemployment insurance, 20% of renters couldn't pay their rent before the 6th of the month. And according to a survey by the National Fair Housing Alliance, they've seen a 13% rise in sexual harassment complaints. It is a crime to sexually harass tenants under the Fair Housing Act, and the Department of Justice is actually investigating reports of this happening. The Department of Justice is urging people to come forward if you've experienced something like this due to the pandemic, or at all really, but most specifically during this pandemic when people are most vulnerable right now. It is imperative that you keep all letters, text messages, emails, and personal exchanges with your landlord. Take photos and take screenshots. Document harassment if possible with video or audio recording. Experts say that landlords that do this are actually serial offenders. Do not give in to your landlord no matter how much pressure they put on you. Not paying rent on time is one thing, but it is something that is easily negotiated with your landlord if they're a decent landlord. Most landlords are understanding, and most landlords aren't total dickheads. It is important to know your rights in a situation like this. Just so you know, your landlord can't really evict you over something like this, and it is illegal to change the locks on a tenant who doesn't give in to your sexual harassment. The law is on the side of the tenant in this particular scenario. And also, don't feel like just because there's all this stuff going on and there's no court proceedings that are operating as normal that you shouldn't report something like this. Yes, most court proceedings are not operating as usual, but right now nobody can get evicted. Housing courts are still having emergency hearings. Although I would be super uncomfortable with living in a place with a landlord like that, not gonna lie. As for Gail Savage, she plans to file for legal action against her landlord. When asked to comment on the story, the landlord told BuzzFeed News that it was a joke and a misunderstanding, and he was actually texting his ex-wife. So was it a joke or a misunderstanding? Which one was it? Thankfully for Gail, a real estate friend hooked her up with a new place. To anyone who is dealing with something like this and you feel vulnerable, you're not as vulnerable as you think. There is always help, and remember, the law is on your side. That is all I have for you on this one, and thanks for watching IO.